Pozdrav ljudi, ovdje je Gaming Freak i dobrodošli u još jedan walkthrough na kanalu. Pre nego što kažem nešto o ovoj igri, samo sekund. Tako. Dakle, igramo What Remains of Edith Finch, igra koja je napravljena od strane indie developera. Neki je zovu walking simulator, iskreno ne znam da li je walking simulator ili nije, ali vidjet ćemo. U svakom slučaju nije, inače igra je, već je krenula. Igra je, nisam imao u planu da igram ovu igru, međutim, ono što me nateralo da igram ovu igru je to da je BAFTA dodelila nagradu za najbolju igru godine, tako da ako te to ne natera da probaš neku igru koju ranije nisi hteo, onda ne znam šta će generalno. Poenta za vas koji ne znate šta je BAFTA, BAFTA je jedna od, ako ne najprestižnija nagrada za gaming, i to, boga mi, mogu reći da je What Remains of Edith Finch dobila nagradu u konkurenciji. Mislim da su bili Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice koji je uzeo nekih 4 ili 5 nagrada na BAFTI. Šta je bio je Horizon Zero Dawn, bio je Mario, bio je ovaj What Remains of Edith Finch i još jedna igra je bila, sad ne mogu se setim koja. Nije ni bitno, neću sad da pokušam da se setim. Uglavnom u toj nekoj ludačkoj konkurenciji ova igra je uzela dakle nagradu za najbolju igru godine, tako da i još plus, mislim, to me je generalno nateralo da igram igricu, ali i plus sama činjenica da igra nije duga, igra je oko nekih, ako sam ja dobro video, 2-2,5 sata, tako da definitivno neću ni potrošiti puno vremena igrajući je. Toliko u uvodu ljudi, ajmo da krenemo pa da vidimo šta ćemo i kako ćemo i uopšte kako je ova igra. Uživajte! Hop, hop, tup, 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 tup. Sad vidiš što ne vidiš.
And I'm sorry about that. I'm just gonna start at the beginning with the house.
Ja sam da uključim titlove, a onda sam skapirao da likuša, mislim, praktički čita ono što piše, tako da čekaj da vidim da li ima grafici, sve na ultra, naravno, tu nema audio controls. To je to. Ovdje imamo neki Tree of Life, šta znači, imamo Molly koja je najstarija i živjela je 10 godina, poziva 37, 47. Ima šta, aha, imamo 1917-2010, 1880-1937. Dobro, imamo, dakle, svi su mrtvi. Ovo je point, jedino su mi živi, dakle, jedino Edith Finch živa 99. godišnje. Znači, ako je ova igra izašla 2017. ona ima 18 godina. Ako je, mislim, present day. 88, 2000, što su vrati svi pomrli, jebote sa 20 godina. 86, 77. I ovaj sa 33 godine. Najduže ovaj živo, ovo je neki vampir, brate, živo 100 godina. Mogu klikćem po ovom. Ne mogu. Ništa, ajmo. Ček pauza za booster.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
Aha, interesantna fora za subtitlove. čekaj, nemamo controls. A, nemamo ništa. Da.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
Hop, 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 hop.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Dobro, sviđa mi se ova fora. Možemo skočimo? Ja ti imam stomak ili...
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Jel trebamo ovo da vidimo? Ono što ne znam... Ono što ne znam je da li igra ima... Ne mogu da li igra ima horror element, tako da... Nadam se da nema. Pošto nisam baš neki ljubitelj čudovišta koji će da mi iskaču u facu. Pogotovo kada igram first person igre.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
And the house knew the answers too.
The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent. As if they're about to say something, but never do.
Idu kurac. Mislim, vi čitajte šta piše ovdje, pauzirajte, ja ne slušam pola šta priča. Where the fuck are we going now? Idi kuću jebat. Šta je ovo? Aha, ovo da bi došao sam išao... Okej. Da sam išao onim drugim putem. Nema neki collectibles ovdje.
The house was exactly like I remembered it. The way I'd been dreaming about it.
Pa zašto kuća izgleda do jaja, brate? Mene se ovo sviđa. Nekako je onako...
I asked Edie once about the dragon in the pond. She said it had killed her husband.
Ne znam, nekako je
As a
kao šta,
child,
nije,
the house
možda
made me
jeste Tim
uncomfortable
Burtonovski.
in a way I couldn't put into words.
Pa jeste malo onako, kao da je Tim Burton pravio
Now,
kuću.
as a 17-year-old, I knew
17
exactly
godina, znači
those
imamo
words
17
were.
godina.
I was afraid of the house.
The house was afraid of me. Opa.
Prowling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
Saving. Možemo pravimo ovdje nešto. Oto. Zađemo i kola jebat.
For the first time in years, I felt like I was home. But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Zanima se tko je priča šta svi su...
Like how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Brate, položite konzerva. Ovdje imaš zalihe, brate, za nuklearni
Nothing in
rat.
the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it. Like a smile with too many teeth.
Pa upravo to, brate, svega je živog too much, brate. Knjiga šta je.
Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house. Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit. Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house after it sank.
I knjige pored kamina. Okej.
The table was still erect from the night we left. My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Mogli smo ono da regulišu obar kad su pravili igru. Da ne upada sam sebi reći. Iskreno, stvarno, poprilično sam iznenađen činjenicom da je ovo proglašeno igrom godine. Dakle, mislim, ne kažem da je loša igra, da se razumemo, jer, mislim, nemam pojma tek ti počne igram. Ali, čak i da je dobra igra, jako mi čudno zvuči to.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
Pa se desilo, da ovdje se nešto desilo 100%.
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
Okay, idemo gore.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes. The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
Gregory.
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
Calvin.
My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
Okay, šta je vamo?
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Whoa.
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left. Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it. Edie's father, Odin, built the original house.
Gdje ovamo? Whoa. Molly.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
Kako je fora s ovom porodicom? Znate, Adamsovi su veseli od njih.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
Interesantno.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Huh.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets.
Vidite to.
Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of. From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan, but I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
Saving, gdje smo sad jebati? Molly, smo mi u Mollinoj sobi.
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
Sad smo Molly.
My Halloween candy was all gone. Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
Čekaj, Kevin nije dala večeru, a sad zove sweetheart.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Yeah, boy.
I ate a lot of things that night.
Što je ovo raste u sobi jebati? Imaš i ovdje još dve, uzmi, uzmi 4.
I kept eating and eating.
Pastu za zube. Ma daj, bej. Ti si dete bolest.
Then
Nije
I
čudo
heard
što je umrla,
chirping
bej.
outside my window. I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly,
What the
I was
fuck?
a cat. I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared. Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
To ti je jedino logično objašnjenje da ovo sanja.
I jumped and I almost got her.
Aha.
Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird.
Gdje?
I gobbled her up,
Uhu.
and suddenly I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Vidio sad smo sova jebe. Ono ovo sanja, brati, ili je ono...
Rabbits.
Počela da halucinira, brate. Opa! Jedan zjeka, pusti zjeka.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something.
Ode zjeka. Ode zjeka.
A mama rabbit.
Malo mi je heavy ovo, bre.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
What the fuck? Kako se ovo tripuje, bre, što je sad? Vidi ovo.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever.
Okay.
I wanted fat, juicy seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Brate, nešto baš ne želim da radim.
Grabbed on tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
What the fuck?
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet.
Okay. Ugh. Njam njam.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Odi on. Om, njam, njam, njam. Aha, treba voda.
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it.
Aha, i dalje sam ovdje, ali sad idem malo
And the good
drugačije.
smell went into an old pipe.
moja
I
soba.
got closer and closer.
Jest.
All of my
my
stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
What the fuck?
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Okay. Interesantno. Mi skočimo ko mačka. A, ne možemo. Dobro. Kapiram da ćemo mi da prođemo sada kroz kroz svačiju priču. Ovdje pretpostavljam ulazimo u sljedeću sobu.
I spent a lot of time in Great Grandma Edie's room. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom... I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. Even in her 90s. Sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother. The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom.
Ooh.
It was a pretty big trace. There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book. Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Čekaj bre. Idemo redom, šta ovdje ne mogu? Čekaj bre, prvo sobu jebote da obiđem, pa onda da se zjebam s ovim stvarima. Ko zna šta će dole me saček.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune.
Ne, čekaj, ajde. A, ne mogu ništa. Ne mogu levo, ne mogu desno. Aha.
Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg, on January 7th, 1937. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Dobro.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Odin. Dobro. Odin Finch, joining the great majority. Odin Finch, the mysteries of death and thereafter. A ovo se on pisao. Ovo zdaleko je. Za druzu. E sad možemo da idemo ovdje. I jo, što će ovdje da me snađe, majko Božje. Ono, generalno je sama kući, brate. Mogla je da uzme pajser, da porazvali sva vrata. Ja u pičku materiju. U command center. A, što dobro.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him.
The Jaja. Brate, kako kuća jebote, šta je bre ovo? Fort Sam, Fort Calvin.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't.
Woohoo!
I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Ajde. Opa!
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. And maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Opa!
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Calvin, koliko on živo? 11 godina. Znači 17 godina je
Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
pokušao da leti.
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Ok, idemo dalje.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Ovo je, aha, ovo je... Dobro. Ovo je ovaj... Vinski podrum, da. To jest ne vinski podrum, nego... Dobro, gorila.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Okay.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
To je malo ubuđalo.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box.
Sad mi igramo.
And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick.
A zar nije ovo otkuca, brate?
Was silent.
Da, vratio je ključ. Let me out. Let me out.
Rick? Are you okay? This isn't funny.
Okay, Halloween.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Kako ćemo izveknuti copyright zbog ovoga? Nemoj jumpscare, nemoj jumpscare, nemoj jumpscare. Ja mogu prengijam
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
Idemo vamo.
Rattled
fuck?
Oh dear!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there?
Ah!
Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Ok, idemo opet sa štanglom. Brate, ako mi iskoči nešto ovdje... Mamico ti, jedan.
Walter, are you there?
Vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And whoever he was, he couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
A, pa ima ovaj koji smo i... za EDITH išli.
That night, she played her part beautifully.
Ok, sad smo kod Molly.
Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
A da, požuriš malo. Sad ga nema ovdje.
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Ding dong.
At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be...
Igra Čubaka, ovi drugi.
And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom, But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Yeah, this is some heavy shit, man.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was.
To mi je još ostao Louis,
Maybe
Milton,
what Edie saw was a happy
Gregory
ending.
Gus, Sam, Walter, ko hoće. Saving. I kapiram da sada znamo foru za basement.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
To. Sada idemo u basement. A, gdje je music box, brate? Zašto je mračno ovdje ovako?
It's funny. All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
Edi bre, kurac, gdje je music box? A. Saving. Fuck. Ovdje, brate, su... Ovdje rođač ima više svjetla nego u kući, jevat.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
Pa, realno, bre. Da preskočim nečiju priču.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages.
Op. Oh.
I thought maybe she was hiding presents.
Fuck.
It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
What the fuck? Šta je, bro?
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone.
Šta je, bro, ovo jebut?
She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could.
Vidi klopa.
If there's a pattern in all these stories,
Brate, ko su ovi ljudi?
I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Šta su sagradili? Kako su oni kuću ovdje sagradili, brate? Šta je, bro, ovo?
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead.
Pojede. Brate, su oni svi pomrli.
You get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just...
Dobro je, brate, ne mogu da otvoram mesni narezak, brate, ono... 16 puta.
Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid.
Ovo je neki paranoik, brate. Ovo je kalendar. Brojite pažnju na kalendar kakav je bio.
It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can.
I ovamo ne mogu. A, smeta mi stoličica, očigledno. Aha. Mi zapravo iz svih ovih priča saznajemo putanju kako da se krećemo po kući, jer nam je Keva sve živo zabravila. Tako da, to je point ovih priča, ujedno saznajemo šta se desilo sa njima. Ali, ono... Ne moram da otvaram mesni narezak 68 puta.
Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me.
Ovo probili mi. Jesmo. Ne možemo s vratom ili gore? Ne možemo. Pa ne možemo ni da idemo sporije, očigledno.
Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left. Or a month. Or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Fuck.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
Znaš li u Idi pričao? Bili smo u jednoj sobi, bret. Ajde, zatvori knjigu, jebeno.
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
Evo. Neki bolesnik. Ajde, idi sad i ti, brate, tamo na na prugu. Kuće, brate, creepy as fuck.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding.
Nego ovdje je razbio.
I don't want to make the same mistakes she made.
Da, ti ne želiš da prožiraš ko ona, ali zato želiš kujak da izletiš na train tracks. Ajde, idi.
Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself
Koji drugi koji je
and
ostao.
found out what happened to everyone else.
Malo imam
But
problem
now
da se
I'm worried the
koncentrišem na
stories
priču.
themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
Mislim, možda zapravo nisam ništa ne propustio, ali onako s vremena na
I don't
vreme
know if I should even be writing
ti
this.
isključim nekako, ne znam. Nisam za sad nešto dušne
Maybe it'd be
igrice,
better if
mislim,
all this just died with me.
hoću reći, dobra je igra, ali ovo stvarno jeste neki ono kao klasičan walking simulator. I manje više mi stvarno nije jasno
But I
koju
thought you should
foru
know
je
about your family.
ovo proglašeno igrom godine. To je dobilo BAFTA nagradu
And
za
the
najbolju
history
igru.
you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
Okej. Mada opet, s druge strane, ovo je čist dokaz koliko možete zapravo da postignete za priču. A generalno ono, I'm a sucker for good story. Tako da ja bi radije igru sa dobrom pričom nego neku koja ono nema priču, ali kao ima prenadrkanu grafiku, a priča katastrofa. Ne znam da li imam sad neki primjer onako iz glave da i nemam. Hellblade je ono očigledan primjer igre, to jest priče koje te navuče.
And when you look at the house,
Ali ne mogu se sjetiti obro
that history
primjera.
of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one.
Drpi Junior, drpi. Burpi,
3 of the
čurpi,
gerbils are mine, and
prpi,
2
lurpi,
have been
zurpi.
my fault.
Zoe, Coco, Tucker, Charlie, Daisy, Lucy. What the fuck, man? Aha. Christopher, Bob, Oliver, Shadow. Šaci, to je beše nemački. Šaci, majn, šaci, moje srce, tako nešto. Moje, ono... Bili. Ne volim i ne znam nemački, tako da malo mi poznato šta ti. Mislim
Sven
da je
built
nemački.
the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Molly Finch. Calvin Finch. Aha, dobro. Sven. Edie. Walter. Barbara. Ok, pa mi smo njih sve obišli. Tako.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
I sad skočim i završim. Ok. Aha, više ne mogu da interaktujem s ovim.
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better. She lost two of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
Ovo nije Finch, ko je Sanjay Kumar?
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself.
Smo mi saznali u toku igre šta se desilo zapravo, pa je sve ostavljeno onako kući kako jeste što nam pričala na početku.
But looking back on it now,
Saving.
If she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Aj, jeste trudno da tu ima stomačić, onaj. Vidi, ja još po staku voda.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense.
Okay. Daj sad ovo. Nećemo, ajmo da... A Sam je, brate, vidi ga. US
Instead of
Marine
hiding
čovjek.
from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Znači ne mogu sa ničim da interaktujem ovdje u sobi. Sem sa ovim ovdje.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
Shouldn't we be leaving?
Just want to get a shot of you, Dawn, then we can take off.
What?
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? Please just take the damn picture.
Hey, language.
Did you want to get a picture of me or what? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
Brate, oslepit ću od ovog bijelog kad mi bljesne, brate.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though. Aw.
Should not have drunk all that coffee.
Hold still while I take a picture of you.
Hey!
That's a keeper.
Nothing quite like being outside. I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Don. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Don, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip.
Dad!
Good eyes, Don. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Don, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Don! I'm proud of you, Don. Always remember that.
Vidim se igram s njim.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Don. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Hadi.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Ok, popnuli smo donji deo. Imamo još Don Gas, Gregory, Milton, Lewis. I eventualno Idi. A Sven... Inbur, Kay, Sanjay... Tu je Sanjay, znači... Vidi ga vernički prst.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Okay. Aha. Evo je Gas, Gregory i Don. Ok, ljudi, ajmo da stanemo ovdje s ovim delom. Kada je, znači, evo je Gas, Gregory, Lewis i Milton. Ok. Krećemo od Gregorija. Divorce contract.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us didn't.
Čekaj, ja sam žaba.
Over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
Ja sam žaba.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like.
Woohoo!
He reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination.
Opa! Woohoo! Ah, fuck.
I know how silly it sounds.
Idemo.
I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
Okay.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw.
Znači, mali su udavio.
There's so much I don't understand about Gregory, about everything. But I know what happened wasn't your fault.
No.
I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Okej, znači to je fora. Mali se udavio.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died.
Proćemo od...
At the time,
I can't
it was as
imagine
far
my mom
away as she
ever
could
writing
get.
poetry, and yet
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
Aha.
My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart.
Šta ja treba da radim sad? Aha.
I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom were the words that I
now pronounce you husband and wife. Make him cry.
Yay, sad su husband and wife, yay.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Stoka možda.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
Ja, malo smo prošli. Da, tu, ali nema veze. Aha.
The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made.
Idemo.
The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
Aha. Uš.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't, until we found you.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Idemo dalje. To je još troje njih i ovi nepoznati. To je Don, za njega ne znamo ništa. Dobro. Idemo gore. Ovo je jedino preostaje. Cool.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Sanjay. Where she met my dad? To je Čale.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later.
Sad se penjemo na one kućice gore.
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
Yeah, we
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
Dobro.
But it didn't last.
Znači su kući ostali laptopovi i sve živo, znači ono...
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Aha, Milton
After
je
Milton
živ.
disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Možda.
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family. Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Oj, brate, malo je kraja ovo.
I was 4 when
Aha,
Milton
2003.
disappeared.
Okej.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Ok, idemo dalje. Aha. Dobro. Vidio sam gdje treba da idemo.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Louis.
Everyone always told me to stay out of Louis's room. Except Louis.
Louis je u čamcu bio. Nargila.
Louis's room smelled very, very familiar.
Možda je meni čudno što je sve ovo netaknuto, zato što ne da izlaziš napolje. Zato što živim u Srbiji, brate, i kod nas bi ovo sve bilo opustošeno u roku od dan i po. Tako da...
Louis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Reći kako pogled, brate. Da, u Srbiji je ovo nestalo u roku od 3 sata.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Louis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Louis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to...
wander.
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small.
Čekaj. Viš ovdje.
Imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that had not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
Ok, znači ja igram paralelno, ako niste skapirali. Dakle, sečem glave ovim ribama i igram ovaj Diablo ovdje, šta je već.
But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Louis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him.
Če ostane bez ruke sad, brat, u jednom momentu.
It seemed very promising at first.
Viš kao fazon, bila je mala slika
He
u
told me he'd
početku.
made a new friend.
Kao malo mu je bilo, malo mu je, ono, malo je lutao. Ono sve veće i veće.
On the edge of a city he named Louis Utopia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something.
Ovo je ko igra brata A Tale of Two Sons, brate, znači on igram za dve stvari od jednog,
Every day his
multitasking.
imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
Jeste igra, brate. RPG.
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on.
To je dobra grafika, brate. Mislim, ono je jako interesantno. Možda napravili neku igru ovako, nego...
New Louisville.
Čekaj, brate, pa ne mogu da sečem ribu i da ovaj...
He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
Beži kao ideš čistim ribu. Pakeva.
In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a beautiful prince, handsome queen.
Handsome queen, brate. Neću baš da budem peder sad. Ako si mrtav, brate, služi bar malo poštovanja.
The queen was on her own quest for radiant rainbows. He followed the sound of her
electric sitar.
Electric sitar. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination.
Jebote. Lakše malo s ovim ribama.
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Okej, sam završio, brate, sečenje ribe.
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Yo, dude.
I still thought I could save him.
Evo, putem ribe.
Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him. His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
Giljotinu. Može. Dobit ću krunu i giljotinu. O, gospođo kraljice, kako ste seksi.
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Znači, lik je stavio glavu na ovo.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
To je to, brate, imamo ih sve, a? A, nemamo Done. A sad ne znam da izađem kroz ova vrata ili idem... Ono, dajmo na vrata ću izađem.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie.
Aha, pa mi su ne mogli drugačije. Okej.
I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left.
Da istražim da mi nešto ne promakne.
My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Okay. Edith. Evo ga naš krevet.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Okay.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
History of the Finches by EDITH FINCH.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out.
Ovo je priča unutar priče.
It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
Prate samo pravo je.
I got turned around. I started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car.
And we left.
I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next
Ma
morning,
non
the
strpalo
van came
gepe
to pick
kao
her
šta je,
up.
bravo?
She was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
Evo, izlazim iz materice.
This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Da. Što ljudi? Izgleda. Ali nismo Dona našli, samo nam je on ostao. I Idi. Idi je bila fora u onoj sobi negdje u početku. Ali okej. Saving blood troći. Ok ljudi, eto to je to, kao što sam i rekao u prvom delu, u pitanju je kratka igra, walking simulacija, čovječe, zelo se spava, mislim, igram ovih hrčevi. Ali eto mi sam želio da završim igru, tako da to sam na kraju radio. Šta sam počeo da pričam, ne znam ja više. Dakle da, kao što sam i rekao, u pitanju je jedna kratka walking simulacija, tako da eto, ne znam da li smo 2 sata igrali, nemam pojma, možda jesmo malo. Ali u svakom slučaju to je to. Ja sad ne znam da li vam se igra svidela ili nije. Meni iskreno ne nešto pretjerano, uzevši u obzir da je dobila nagradu za najbolju igru godine. Nešto nisam baš, nije me baš oduvala, što bi se reklo. Ali svakako možda da nije imala tu težinu u mojim očima kad sam počeo da igram, možda bi mi bila dobra. Ovako ipak smatram da je neka druga igra zaslužila nagradu za igru godine, a ne ova, tipa Horizon. Šalim se, naravno, ja sam mogu pristresan kada je pitanje Horizon. Ali eto, to je to, malo sam skrenuo s teme. Ništa ljudi, hvala vam puno što ste gledali ovo, nadam se da se dopalo. Ako jeste, subscribe-ujte se obavezno na kanal, lajkujte, šerujte da što više ljudi vidi, dođe na kanal, da proširimo malo kanal, da pokušamo da ga napravimo malo veće. Jeste, komentarište naravno uvek i to je to. Mi se vidimo u nekom sledećem videu, u nekom sledećem klipu i logično, jel te, nekoj sledećoj igri, pošto smo ovo završili. Do tada ljudi, pozdrav i uživajte.